What's going on, fight fans? I'm back here with another video here set for you guys. Gonna be giving my recap and reaction of UFC 316, a card that on paper was looking very much so mid, but actually turned out to be very, very great. I'm gonna go great. I'm not gonna go good on this one. I thought this one was actually pretty much a banger-filled fest type of fight card, where recently, as of note, I mean, last week we had Aaron Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. Sorry, that didn't happen. My bad. It was Mateusz Gamrot versus Ludwig Klein, which was the co-main event, but then turned it to the main event. But we all knew what was going to be the main event regardless. And now we have this. Thankfully, thank God. He's real. And we start off this card with Markel Medeiros versus Mark Chonsky. Markel Medeiros gets the unanimous decision over Chonsky. Chonsky is absolutely trash. He is garbo. He's not good. He had his moments here and there, but Markel Medeiros on the feet, moving and grooving, doing the things that he usually does, especially with the low kicks. The kicks were absolutely working into his favor in this fight, especially just in terms of just the stand-up. Medeiros was just doing his thing. And moving on up the card, we got Quinlan Southkill versus Yanal Asmus. The Zionists were here in New York for Yanal to be able to get the victory. Wasn't able to be able to get that done. Quinlan Southkill, in my honest opinion, in the first two rounds was very, very dominant in terms of the grappling as well as the stand-up. I just think he was a little bit more aggressive with his motions, landing a lot more shots, especially a lot more power shots, especially with the combinations, especially with the kicks. Yanal had his moments here and there, but especially in the third round, I think that was definitely Yanal's round where he was really pressing forward, landing a lot more power shots, really had Quinlan moving on the back foot and really worried about what was coming back forward his way. If Yanal had that more of a type of round throughout the majority of the round, then I think Yanal actually would have pulled that type of victory off against Quinlan Southkill because it was very competitive between these two guys. But I think the first two rounds, Quinlan was just a lot more busy, a lot more efficient in terms of the striking. And again, with the grappling mixed in as well, it was really looking like Yanal was having a lot of issues and Quinlan came on top on that one. And moving on up the card, we got the KO of the century, the KO of the universe, Joseng Yo versus Jeka Sarangi. My God, what an absolutely amazing left hook right on the button, right on the chin, flatline, out cold. KO, just like how you like your beverages, very, very cold. I mean, stiff as a board, face first on the canvas. Great moment for Joseng Yo, who believes who he is the next TKZ that is going to be able to come up. And if he has a lot more performances like that, I want to see him on every single card. Book him for the next week card. Book him in the Apex, even though we're not having the Apex, thank God, for quite some time. Book him for next week card. That was absolutely amazing. Moving on up the card, we got Wang Tang. Excuse me, fat boy Daniel Cormier. Wang Kang versus Ariana De Silva. Wang Kang in this one was doing her job. I really liked how she was working with her kickboxing. The low kicks were brutal. I mean, I don't know why Ariana De Silva and her low kick defense game was not on point. Something that you need to be able to take of note when you watch Wang Tang fighting is that, her low kick and her kick game is absolutely amazing, and she didn't take that as to note, so she was pretty much getting beat up for the majority of the first two rounds, where Wang Kang was pretty much doing anything that she wanted to be able to do. Her jab was working overtime. In the third round, Ariana De Silva came back, was a little bit more ferocious, wanted to be able to get some of her get back, landing to start a lot more shots on Wang Kang. I actually thought she took that third round, even though Wang Kang kind of outpointed her in that one if it went her way. But just the low kicks. I mean, that second round where she got dropped by one of those low kicks towards the end of the round was nasty. I mean, she just continued to just over and over beat up those legs inside, outside. It was just Wang Kang special with the kickboxing. What else do you want to be able to say? And moving on up the card, we got Andreas Gustafsson versus Chaos Williams. Went with Chaos Williams in this one. I thought he was going to get flatline KO, that being Andreas Gustafsson, because I seen his record on the regional scene. Didn't really take much of note into it, but, I mean, Gustafsson absolutely just drowned Chaos Williams, man. completely like negated anything that Chaos Williams was throwing. And he's the guy, he's the brawler, he's the marauder, as they say, that being Chaos Williams, that just walks forward and just swings haymakers out of nowhere. And he was the one that was getting walked down and getting treated like a female dog in this one. And it was absolutely insane to be able to see, because Andreas Gustoson didn't care what was coming his way, dragged him down in the clinch game, uppercuts, knees to the body, continuously getting takedowns, ground and pound. I mean, Andreas Gustafsson, what an amazing UFC debut against pretty good comp, that being Chaos Williams, where he absolutely thrashed him and made him again look like the biggest female dog on this card. Moving on up the card, we got, in my honest opinion, one of the hardest fights to be able to call, really, on a silver lining, that being Sergey Spivac versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. They gave the dub to Walter Cortez Acosta, so shout out to me. I actually called it actually going down. But I could be able to see how it swung another way to Sergey Spivac. Spivac was looking a lot more better, especially in the first round with his power shots, landing the right hand to Walter Cortez Acosta. But throughout the rest of the rounds, especially in that third one, it was looking really sloppy. The body language by Cortez Acosta in that round was looking really bad. Again, I kind of don't know how he got this decision in this one. He kind of was outpointing, and like it was kind of going tit for tat for the majority of this fight. Honestly, I would have gave it to Spivac, really just off the first watch. But I understand why they give it to Walter Cortez Acosta. It was a really close fight between these two guys. Again, very tit for tat. The low kick game by Cortez Acosta was, of course, working, because that's the best thing that he has to offer in this one. He landed some nice power shots. Some right hands were definitely working. The jab was definitely flowing. But Spivac was also doing his thing. Again, it was a very close, competitive, oafy, fat type of heavyweight fight that we usually get, where, you know, it's very competitive towards the middle of the rankings between these two guys. But, yeah. And moving on up the card, we got Azmat Mirzakhanov versus Brendan Robera. If you're a UFC fan, hardcore, casual, you could see where this one was going to be going a mile away. Azamat Mirzakhanov lands a beautiful right hand on the button, right on the temple of Brendan Robera, knocks him down, lands some ground and pound for quite some while. I mean, I don't know if they should have stopped that a little bit earlier, but Robera was continuously moving around, so I mean, benefit of the doubt, I guess. Azamat Mirzakhanov takes care of business, gets Brendan Robera out of there pretty easily. And moving on up the card, we got my boy Joshua Van taking care of business against Bruno Silva. Joshua Van, man, I mean, in the rankings, he's just number 14. Now going to take the throne over Bruno Silva, who is number 12. What a showcasing. I mean, one of the best things about Joshua Van is obviously the boxing, the hands that he got, the gas tank, obviously, the amazing takedown defense. So obviously this was not going to be going to the ground. But the one thing that was obviously lacking by Joshua Van that we actually got in this one was the power. Dude was landing straight rights, 1-2 down the pipe continuously over and over again. Bruno Silva had no answer for it, got wobbled, got dropped like twice in that first round, and continuously over the majority of the fight was having some issues with that. Bruno Silva, again, was still competitive, was still landing some good shots on Joshua Van, making things tough, especially the low kicks were something that were obviously in the game plan for him, because Joshua Van, with his boxing-heavy style, was going to get chewed up on the legs with him planting his feet the majority of the time. But Joshua Van, man, just tanks through it, brother. He just tanks through it, goes through the majority of that onslaught through his legs, goes to the third round, lands another right hand right on the button, and just slumps Bruno Silva out cold. Gets a little bit of ground and pound onto the fence. But Joshua Van, man, that is something that we absolutely needed to be able to see. New mythical fighter unlocked from him. Joshua Van with power. That's something that is going to be able to be seen in the flyweight division. Even though he's a lot more smaller than a lot of people in the flyweight division, he's adding that type of power, getting somebody out like Bruno Silva, who, yeah, got KO'd by Manel Cap, but it actually took some time, a little bit more, while he was getting stung with those shots. While Manel Cap, when it was in his flow state, really, really good performance. I really like to be able to see that of Joshua Van, looking at him more as a serious contender in this flyweight division. And moving on to the main card, we got your boy Kevin Holland, who is probably going to be having some SEX tonight after his win over Vicente Luque. Two old head veterans in this one going at it toe for toe in the welterweight division. Nice to be able to see Kevin Holland going back to the welterweight division. Honestly, the home for him. I think he's just a little bit too small for middleweight and 185. But getting the job done against Vicente Luque, I just think he was a little bit too rangy, too tricky on the feet, even though Vicente Luque was still doing his thing, landing a few nice, good power shots on the feet, really stinging Kevin Holland with a lot of them. But Kevin Holland was just doing a little bit better work on the feet, and while he was, really just outpointing, I wouldn't say just outright outpointing Vicente Luque, but definitely beating him on the feet, gets into a scramble and a mix-up, cinches in the nice Darce choke against, Vicente Luque having one of the best BJJ defenses and offensive, honestly, in MMA and the UFC as of right now. Getting him choked out, having, Kevin Holland show off his BJJ prowess where he does have a black belt, even though there's times that he obviously has gotten rat-dogged and submission. I mean, look at the Hamzat fight, look at the RDR fight, and him actually now putting out Vicente Luque, who is, on the backside of his prime. He's definitely not what he was beforehand, not the warrior gladiator that he was in his prime years, but Vicente Luque, the name nonetheless. And now Kevin Holland, I think, is on like a 2-fight win streak. So shout-outs to him. He's probably going to get the Colby Covington fight. Really two big names out of those two guys, especially with Colby on the landslide of his. I think he's like on a 4-fight losing streak as of right now. It's really bad for Colby. But yeah, would be definitely a hell of a fight night card, main event somewhere, whether it be in Florida, Orlando, Miami, or you can put that in Texas, whether it be Dallas, Houston. It would be a banger, 100% for sure. I think they should definitely make that one. And moving on up the card, we got the literal definition of a punching bag versus the coward himself, Mario Batista. This was a tough one. Well, for me to be able to see, especially what he did last time out against Jose Aldo. God damn you, Mario Batista. Going against Patchy Mix, I went with Patchy Mix because I just wanted to be able to see Mario Batista lose, potentially get submitted, because the BJJ game of Patchy Mix is actually pretty decent. He has some decent names, especially in Bellator and PFL. But he, from the onset, from like the first minute, it was just like you knew, Mario Batista, man, this absolute coward of a man. I mean, he just showed him levels. Really, it's levels to this. I mean, I don't know if Patchy Mix is even going to be ranked in the featherweight division or bantamweight division. This was bad, man. This was bad. I mean, literally screaming at my TV, head movement. I felt like Ronda Rousey's coach out there, bro. It was atrocious, dude. I mean, the dude couldn't move his head for $50 million. It was absolutely insane that he couldn't be able to move out of the way of a 1-2 or a 2. He was just there. He was just plotty, just planting his feet, just moving on forward. He landed a nice couple of right and left hands whenever he switched position. But he just got completely obliterated on the feet. Mario Batista did an absolute number on Patchy Mix. Showed him level. Showed him that why Bellator and PFL are way level below the UFC. This dude, Mario Batista, is ranked like number 9, number 10. Right? He's like nowhere near. He's on a streak, but he's nowhere near the belt. I don't know, man. Patchy Mix, brother. Your stand-up. This is your career. Are you taking it seriously? Like, man, like I know 5-year-olds that can do better than this, man. This was atrocious. That was like, you get paid I don't know about millions, but you get paid really good money to be able to do this as your career. You didn't get any takedowns. You didn't do anything with the BJJ, which is something that you're really known for, and your stand-up is abysmal. That was really, really, like, I don't know. But just put Patchy Mix against unranked dudes until he can prove that he can even get close to the rankings. And we go on to the future fight, which was, just before I move on to the future fight, I absolutely know why Patchy Mix and Tatiana Suarez are together, because both of their stand-ups is absolutely trash. And now, to the future fight, we got Joe Pyer versus Kelvin Gastelum. I really like. Joe Pfeiffer just lands two beautiful right hands, especially early in the first round against Kelvin Gastelum. Really just rocking him bad, put him out down. Like I thought this fat tubby refrigerator of a guy, Kelvin Gastelum, was gonna be out cold. I really wanted him to be out cold, if I'm being honest. I can care less for Kelvin Gastelum. I just want to, even though Joe Pfeiffer really didn't do himself no favors because he was literally just throwing a right hand over and over and over again, just wanted to be able to just get a knockout and just get over with. Even though he was very close to it, landing some good ground and pound. First round obviously goes to Joe Pfeiffer. Second round a little bit more competitive. Kelvin Gastelum starting to weather the storm a little bit better, taking the shots and the power a little bit better as well, starting to land a little bit more, even though he was still eating some shots. In the third round, I think Kelvin Gastelum came back better. I think he probably won that round, having Joe Pfeiffer moving a little bit more backwards and him taking a lot of more control and the pacing around that being Gastelum. But yeah, I just wanted Joe Pfeiffer to win. He landed a nice head kick, especially in that first round too, and Gastelum just ate and just kept walking forward. I don't know what Gastelum's made out of, but eventually I want to see him get KO'd out cold. And move on to the co-main event, which was Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Pena. Went with Kayla Harrison, obviously a huge favorite, even though I gave some credit to Juliana Pena. Should have never done that, right? Should have never, ever do that. Juliana Pena, you should retire. That was absolutely atrocious. That was a pitiful performance by Juliana Pena. But what do you expect when you got Brock Lesnar in there against actual 135 bantamweight woman? What do you expect? Kayla Harrison just ragdolled Juliana Pena, did whatever she wanted to do in the first and second round. Some illegal stuff happened in the first where you got some up kicks and you got a point taken away without warning. Fair game. It is what it is. Nothing really on the feet. Both of these gals are pretty... we already know that Juliana Pena is atrocious on the feet. She looks like she doesn't even train. She looks like she's never touched the mitts. She's never really shadow boxed. Everything is so stiff. Everything is just, it's bad. Like, I really don't know what the fuck she does for her training. It's absolutely it's bad. It's bad. But she's champ, okay? Whatever. Give her credit if you want to. Kayla Harrison takes her down in the third round or second round. Gets in, looks like she almost has in an arm triangle ready to go in. Lets go of the choke. Late to get out to the second round. Gets a Kimura lock. Gets a submission over Juliana Pena. Very easily, I may add. And then we're going to move on to the super fight of Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Kayla Harrison is a big gal in there. She's the gallus. Kayla Harrison, if you want to call her a gallus. She may not be. I mean, just look at her. No shade. No shade at all. But anyways, Amanda Nunes is actually pretty huge too. She's pretty big. That's a big gal. That's a man, duh. Right? She's very, very big. I don't know. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. I hope. Maybe. Size for size, they match up pretty well. Amanda has really progressed and throughout her career with the wrestling and the BJJ game, where she really showed that off a lot more throughout her career. And Kayla is an absolute monster, I think, on the ground and the wrestling game and her judo as well and her submission. So I think they kind of negate it. I think it comes down to the skill game. Early on prediction for this one, and especially with the technique, Kayla Harrison has been improving a lot with her stand-up, and she's still okay. She's very mid. But I just think the skill game with Amanda Nunes, with her stand-up game, she's just a lot better. I think she just demolishes her on the feet, gets whatever she wants. Maybe a little bit of ring rust because she has been out for, I want to think, like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So maybe there is a factor of that, and especially as with the age as well. She's gotten a lot older, even though it's kind of not really a factor in WMMA, but whatever. So yeah, this one early on predictions, I just think Amanda Nunes is probably going to knock out Kayla Harrison in that fight. Even though I want it to be very competitive, I just think she has too much on the feet. We move on to the main event. Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. He's a goblin, man. He's just a freaking goblin. He's a gremlin. He is a cliff dweller of all kinds. He's literally the bantamweight GOAT. I don't know who beats Merab. I don't know. He's not going to move up. He's already talked about not moving up. He doesn't want to face Volk. Thinks that that is a very bad matchup stylistically for him. So that's not going to happen. Corey Sandhagen is next. He's not going to get the job done. Yeah. I don't know. Merab just first round, very close, very competitive, especially on the feet. Sugar Sean looks very locked in, very in the zone in this one. Takes care of business, kind of like it's going tit for tat. Last 30 seconds, though, Merab is just getting a little bit more ground and pound, starting to really pounce on Sugar Sean. It goes to Merab. Second round, Sugar Sean is doing a lot better with the takedown defense, fending off takedowns, keeping things on the feet, landing a lot of hard strikes, trying to be able to keep things in front of him, especially with the underhooks. But Merab, his boxing actually has improved. His hands are actually okay, and since now his hands are okay, he's now an actual threat. He landed a nice few right hands on Sugar Sean, rocking him. I'm not saying he has tremendous power, but it definitely looked like it affected Sean in a way that it really surprised him. You move on to the third. Merab gets the takedown, and it's just all she wrote from there. You already knew it was going to be a Merab round, regardless if he got the finish or not. Then, after a few scrambles, while Sugar Sean is trying to be able to get up from those takedowns, he immediately just over and over. It happened like 3 or 4 times where he consistently just gets taken down and tripped down from under his feet. And then Merab cinches in this Anaconda Darce choke and gets the job done, man. He gets the job done. Merab, there's not much for me to be able to say for Sugar Sean. I think, I don't know, maybe you put him against Umar you couldn't even put him as a potential number 1 contender fight because he's already lost twice to Merab. Umar already lost to him. I don't know. If I'm Sugar Sean, I'm going to 145. What else can you do in the bantamweight division knowing that you lost to this dude twice? You're literally going to be the next Robert Whittaker or Max Holloway after he lost to Volk 3 times and Whittaker lost twice to Adesanya. He's like the number 1 contender. He's probably next in line, but he's already lost a few times already to the champion. If I'm Sugar Sean, I'm moving up to 145. Call featherweight my new home and get some more exciting matches up in that division. But for Merab, I don't know. I don't know who beats him. I don't know. I really don't know. The only guy that I could potentially get close to getting a victory, maybe even by decision, now that he's actually submitting guys and getting finishes, maybe Umar in a rematch. Maybe Peter Yan on this streak that he's on. He's going to be going against Marcus McGee very soon. That matchup I think is going to be a banger, but I think Yan has the advantage, especially with the experience that he has against Marcus McGee. But yeah, I don't know. I think Merab is going to be champ until God knows when. This is like, I don't know. In every other division, there's like a chance that this dude could be able to win. You know, Ilya is going against Charles. That's a great matchup. Whoever wins that, you go against Arman. That's a great matchup for that one as well. That could potentially be the new champion. 170, you got Islam, JDM. Great matchup. After that, Shavkat, Sean Brady, Ian Gary. A lot of names in that division. Flyweight, even though a lot of people has lost to Pantoja, Manel Cap, Brandon Merval, whoever wins in that number 1 contendership. Volk should go against Mobzar Evloev 100%. I don't want to see him versus Yair. He already beat Yair. He's probably going to do it again even more. Or there is potential for Yair to just fling like a, question mark kick, like front kick right to Volk's face and then unalives him on national television again. Yeah, man, I don't know. Sandhagen, I don't think if he's next, he doesn't have a chance. Umar, maybe again in a rematch after he fights somebody else. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, bantamweight, you're tough luck, brother. Tough luck, because Merab he's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. He's on an absolutely unbelievable streak as of right now. It is insane the name that he has on his resume. Sugar Sean O'Malley twice. Henry Cejudo. Peter Yan. Jose Aldo. Like, Marlon Moraes. Like, dude. I'm probably missing names, but like, I don't know. He's beaten the who's who already. I'm lost for words. The goddamn gremlin himself, he got it done. So yeah, this is my recap and reaction of UFC 316. Like this video if you obviously like this video. Comment your opinions on what you thought about this card. Who would you match make next up for these guys? Merab, Co-Main. We already know who's gonna come out with that one between Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes. And the rest of the card, especially the rest of the runners and losers. What do you think, especially coming up with UFC 317? That's going to be an absolute banger of a card. Can't wait for International Fight Week when it comes up. And subscribe, UFC fans. You're here for a reason, obviously. Why not? Bro, you love it. I love you. Stay. Why not, please? Thank you guys again for watching again. And peace.